As you appear behind my back, why can't we feel it? Who just came out? No one else. It's the wrong dance under the 10 virtues. He rides his horse and stands on the roof. You don't deserve to know. He just fell to the ground. Immediately, at the bottom, there was a long red hand. The hand does not measure. Clasped his evil head tightly to the ground. Don't give him a chance to turn around. The author of this book is Lu Tuan. He was able to touch the enemy. Immediately implement the evil mind photo immediately after. He was turned into a rooster. 2 people, Tran Hung, stood on one side watching in horror. The wind blew up. The general has turned into a rooster. 10 good with Dong Hoa now also from behind. I just saw Tran Hung. He called out to the master. Turn HGG together with the dip. They all turned their heads to look back. I really feel like my teacher. 10 goodness in no way understood. You are alive, master. Tran Hung met his disciple again. It's not surprising. Why are you here? 10 good for another party. Carefully implement the magic. I can't help but observe the battle. Willow Tuan Thin and his friends are very good. Then we can't fall behind here either. 10 good people to deal with evil image. The important people right now. They also went to the siege. King In Min doubtful, or he looked at the broken man in front of him. That's why. It's the outer space. I thought I was walking behind the king, sighing. I can't believe you're actually lifting up. The king looked at him for an hour. No response. I thought I didn't explain a little. Compared to the ceremony with the feudal capital, with the blood of the enemy, then your frictions in the capital. Not as big as me. The king did not have much explanation. That casually replied, waiting for you to be caught in the blood of hell. You will know the reason. He then stabbed himself with a knife. Development of life and death time. Life and death immediately covered the entire city. Right now, somewhere in the city. Li Dong with 10 good futures also just appeared here. Li Dong breathed. Lucky to catch up. 10 good frowns touch something. My son came to fight the evil spirit. Finished without waiting for Li Dong to reply. His body disappeared in place. Li Dong was helpless to sigh. This boy is not the same. Let's negotiate a little. We've chosen the most interesting battlefield. Then, move back to the 10 good guys. The peace is still dormant. Look at his evil heart turned into a rooster. Eating in front of you. After a while, he asked a question. The soul has been touched by you. Can we use any more tricks? Willow Tuan frowned not. This kind of situation we're seeing for the first time. Sigh in harmony. Of course, these fake hybrids are not so easy to deal with. Move the scene back to the ignorant people. The king has just committed suicide. A group of he was immediately made to stand up. I can't help but feel suspicious in my heart. Of course, the king was in battle. The gods have opened the time of life and death. Then the enemy will catch us. There are obviously only 2 kings here. There will be people who will die. Can't move. Just as he thought. The king is very fast. He spoke to the master again. Powers of the prince of the underworld. You can only share it to one person at a time. Among the people in front of you. Some people can't move. Just attack. Before he could finish speaking, the lawyer interrupted him. Why is it so annoying? The king's face was filled with suspicion, or glanced at him. The teacher explained. I hear it from the believers. The overall power of this world dynasty. Equivalent to the 11th dynasty of Egypt. When he finished, he kicked hard on the ground. Where does the power from above go? That thing turns to dust. Even a giant building. It also uses extremely fast vanishing rates, thought frowning or uttering. Magic that targets objects, not life. That is why Tin loudly reminded. Quickly stop him. This is his trick. Will make the city of Luoyang melt into a cloud of smoke. They laughed and laughed. Then the one who destroyed the 11th dynasty himself. As I say, this kingdom does not exist. It's worth taking seriously. King Ian Min's body turned into Kim. The light suddenly appeared behind him. The 11th king I've never heard of. He holds the enemy's weapon. The VA just touched the lawyer's weapon, and he crushed it. The country of the 11th dynasty. There are also practitioners. You can break your magic like I did. The answer is difficult. They will all succumb to my feet. King Ian Min was sound of friendly development. That's life. If the one who breaks your wand. It's thunder from the sky. Do you also want goddess grace? The teacher did not flinch with a cold smile. It's not impossible to try. King Ian Min, the body is radiating more and more intense light. Then you have to hurry. Because the Tao life, the next thing is to hit you. The king's magic weapon was broken in half. Do you mean real lightning or something? There's only the common sense race. I can't get in. It's not like you take it so seriously. He was from beginning to end. There was no movement or counterattack. He turned around and suddenly appeared again. The pile of iron forms a circle around you. He pointed his hand at his forehead, laughing coldly. I'll just stand here doing nothing. Your boss can't even touch it. Seal my way. The cold mouth is hard enough. Right after that, in the middle, it starts to fall. Peach paint babes stand on one side. Put your hands together and execute the order here. It is forbidden to destroy the room. But what's out of the question is his order. It's completely ineffective. Everything around. I'm still under the magic of the unscrupulous. It melts into dust. He came behind him, he explained. Because what the enemy uses, it's not the magic of the universe. It takes some time to adapt. This is for me. Peach-san, worried, asked again. Are you sure you can't explain? I've been watching it for a while. This magic, it only targets matter that has no life. So prevent it from continuing to destroy. The opposite is not difficult. Just turn it into Luoyang. Give life to everything that dies in the city. Okay? Finished talking, he then performed the secret king's magic. Born his own city. Immediately, all the architecture in the city was given life. Eyes, mouth, feet, hands fluttering from the walls of the house. As I said, the dead have been given life. The magic of the immortals. There is no way we can continue to destroy Luoyang City. Move the scene to the clueless side. He just took a beating. The life of King Ian Min, but still completely safe. Without any loss. This makes King Ian Min extremely difficult to understand. I don't know what to say for a while. The lawyer opened his mouth. Watch out, you and the gods of the 11th dynasty. There's no difference. He's slowly closing in on the cage, hands out. Before you leave, I have to clean up. Some people can't move. The target of his attack is the corn. Are blankly, under the influence of life and death next door. Steal from where he fluttered. The direction of the corn to fly away. The king saw that and hurried down. In front of the scapegoat. Don't reach the goal. But life is not a dream. That's the imbecile's attack. It's easy to get through his body. King Ian Min is not how to stop the enemy's attack. That's what makes corn sacrifice. Hit by the attack. The corners of his mouth raised. The first. It is important to stand aside and observe from beginning to end. Analytical competence. Turns out this is what happened to Sao. His magic is not simple. It's just making things lifeless. Turned into dust. The parts are not dust. He's transformed them into a kind of metal. The world has never been under his feet. Kim is not only in control of his own mind. It can even help him cut it off. The life of King In Min. Fortunately, my side thought otherwise. If he's actually transformed into Liu Yang, into Kim, then this battle will be 10 times harder to fight. I don't know if Kim is at his feet. After being given life, let him use it or not. Carefully, then use the audio transmission. Contact Trong 2. Is the temple there? It's being handled on the other side. The pagans. When he heard the call, he answered. What's going on? Hurry to visit love. How is the picture with you? Is everything going well? Sit down and laugh. It couldn't be more convenient. Powers of the court. There's no resonance for pagans. In the grave, that's when we find them. Then these pagans came to protest. If you can't do it, we have dealt with it all. I can't believe the task we've been assigned. So light again. That's a shame. It's not fun to be suspicious. But fall back into contemplation. Pagans of the earth. There's no power resonance. So who's the power resonator? It's not going to be for the devil to come. When he thought of this, he sent word to Zhang Tu again. But I still bother you with one more thing. Or something else or something. Talk about this before. He said I always regret my life. If you tell me to get rid of the alien, even if we don't leave the burden in the middle of the road, I will not risk my life for you. Please tell me you are afraid of death. They all do a few simple things. It just takes a little effort. A while later at 1, on the other hand, the houses in the city have stopped being destroyed. He thought he would raise his head and breathe out. The destruction has stopped. Thought casually replied, this is normal. Because all the targets are dead. All are given to life. They're talking. Suddenly, it came out of the ground. Looks like I found you. Peach Sun, puzzled, turned his head to ask for 2. Your work is done there. Come out of the ground. I thought you were going on a trip with me. Kier's heavy debt. Prepare for the ghost's part of the ceremony. That's why he needs your help. I thought I heard that, and I fell into a deep depression. Over here, the important is also transmitting the sound of King In Min. I thought for a while, will come help you counterattack the magic of this heavenly ghost. You can only be hurt and not forced to die. If not, we're going to have to face the general ghost. It's harder to deal with. King In Min also had no idea. Understood him. And then it condenses again. Thunder and lightning into arrows. The goal of no other AI is to be unscrupulous. In the iron cage, he didn't make an evasive move at all. Or anything to support. Let the arrow hit the iron cage. Just like last time, King In Min's attack, completely blocked by the iron cage. The master stands inside. The corners of his mouth were raised with a little appreciation. The power of these 3 missiles, compared to the thunder just now, much stronger. But it didn't work. Your magic. It's impossible to pass through my ancient Greece. Just like he said. And then we'll all pull the trigger and hit the iron cage. They were led to the ground and disappeared. King In Min in his wakefulness. Turns out, it's called the last Greek Sao. He then turned to the next thought. Please bring it back after this battle. We can study the principle to unravel its life. I thought I agreed, then quickly deployed King Ra. The secret of his birth. The king saw his iron heart suddenly become twisted. Then startled. What's going on? I didn't order these alloys to transform. Iron cage appearance, eyes and mouth respond. Excuse me, master. I thought you gave me my life without a fight. Great, he didn't miss the opportunity. Press the hand again. In the sky soon after, once again, there is a sermon. This time, the iron cage of the master has absolutely no way. Help him stop his life. His miserable cry. And then it boomed. The king asked, the power of 3 lives. Is it not enough or not? King Ian Min replied, not knowing it sao. In the fate of this ghost, he was taken seriously and painted. 3 stages of life beat him. It can be effective for almost 4 lifetimes. His physical humiliation is also very normal. I estimate that there is no space. So you can only use the secretion. I thought I could sigh. Wait for a while for your life to go away. The iron cage is now almost completely gone. The magician was also struck by thunder and fell to his knees on the ground. His face has been beaten to shreds. Inside is an endless sky. He gritted his teeth and screamed unforgivably. I can't forgive 2 people. King Ian Min saw his appearance. Face is not free from wrinkles. It's extremely stressful. The world is getting more and more crazy. I have to turn you into snakes. I will punish you for 10,000 years of food for the goats. The weight appeared behind him right now. That's bad. I saw someone suddenly appear behind me. Then startled to turn around. As soon as he landed, he took out a magic weapon. This is called a magic prison. It's the demonic god of armies. It's been 100 years of prayer. The effect is to specialize in Feng Shui ghost. The prison has just come out. There's a strong gravitational pull coming at you. He has no way to resist. Very quickly was sucked inside. Nin smile. Looks like we solved a name. At this time, the power appeared again. It hasn't been solved yet. The people who saw him took it. It's amazing. I realized who he was. I can't control myself. The elder Li did not pay attention to their behavior. Glass reminder in hand. You can't lock him up. Prepare for the second battle. At this time, Greece is falling with the secret way. Will release the royal family. Destruction fake genuine. I urge you to choose the one who comes to the blood of hell. Let's invite the tech folks who are there. Because of the seal of that false reign of destruction. We need to use the power of technology. People hear that on their faces. They all seem unconfident. King Ian Min thunder fluttered in his hand. That's a lie. I was in a hurry to stop him. Wait a minute, he's not the enemy. But no matter what advice he has, it's too late. Thunder in the hand of King Ian Min has been launched. There is no panic either. Standing there watching the thunder hit me where I sighed. Why is the top player at this time a person? You're both so hot. He then developed Ra. God's 36 French statesmen without pictures. King Ian Min's attack came, and his body became illusory. Make it thunder. There's no way. It's done him some damage. This life of King Ian Min extremely powerful. Because it didn't hit the target. It's not stopped by anything. So we've destroyed countless buildings in the distance. Seriously angry loud voice of King Ian Min. Not what I said. It is not used in the city. Has great power. King Ian Min calmly replied, I have seen it soon. Where a moment ago passed. There is absolutely no one on the road. The most impotent weight of the stiff throat. I don't know how to keep swearing. Again, he appeared in front of the crowd. Smiling softly said Ra. He's not lying. Based on the control of this friend. With electric lightning, static electricity on the people of the city. He can all see it. If he had spoken before a moment ago, there are no people on the road, then there is no one. King Ian Min chilled less. No matter how much you take, I will not believe you are a traitor. The red fairy cannot die and rise again and again. It's a secret that our ancestors passed down through our mouths. You can't fool others. You can't fool me. The reason doesn't know how to explain it. Other side of the new plains together with Swan Quan King. They're standing facing each other on the roof. They're over here, but I can still feel it clearly. The battle in the distance. Tay Nguyen Tan laughed. They fought so hard there. Master Van Quan, you can't use the whole thing. Not used in the city. It's illegal. If so, there will probably be a lot of people killed. You are stubborn and refuse to forgive. Life and death time really has no SAO problem. And he calmly replied, I have violated the taboo king. Was born a martyr traitor. You must be happy to see that. All the new thinking. Because this is so good for us. That's why it doesn't feel right. In life and death, time cannot kill. This is the law of martyrdom in this world. Set out for the prince of the underworld. If you do the left, the king opened it. Life and death time will be betrayed by martyrdom. More serious, even dropped the realm back into the yin organ. Even though God has relied on God. But not to the point of, because they risked this much. If this is not the intention of the great, it's extraterrestrial influence, and for him, why? But if that's the case, then the emperor was arrested. They were not thrown into the battlefield. There's definitely something odd about this. In the heart of the mind. These great martial artists, what are you doing? The war has so far been fought in the city. No one is dead. Those foreign gods, not the one. You can expel them yourself. If you tie your own hands and feet like that. There are 2 other gods, please come. Extremely large air aperture. It's been a long time and I haven't seen any blood. If aliens were all that kind of stuff. At the beginning, the wind finally lost. It is based on life and death. To send news to prevent the 3rd god of the morning. Now see if the conditions are not allowed. On the other side, he was standing in front of another believer. He was suddenly startled to feel something. This is the life and death of the SAO. It seems that the Luoyang side has already fought. We must lead quickly. The incarnation of the carving of the Avalokitesvara. He just finished. The statue in front began to appear. Countless cracks. The statue shatters to reveal the dark ball inside. Come on, fake hands take the target. To stay in Luoyang with the darts. Leading transformation carving the Asian. It's too dangerous. You can just use it here instead. And then he started chanting. Waiting for the enchantment of darkness in the north. The Lord has promised us life and death. Jia Lin moves the scene to the world without order. This is the northern master. We're carving the Asian, along with the relatives of the southern fish. Occupancy. This thing is a fake explosion, the incarnation of the carver. The beauty of darkness. Dart in your hand fake very fast. It's broken. Move the scene back to the rock. Li Dong is still trying to advise people to kick. Pure age chalk is also not SAO, but my avatar is sealed in glass. It's coming out. If you don't choose to act, the soul of Luoyang must be in trouble. The final decision is to trust him. He was excited next to the deputy. I want you to go to hell for a trip. I knew the importance of the problem immediately. His head immediately disappeared from the spot. Go to hell with blood. After that, take off your shirt. Take care of this head. Let's test his testimony. The king replied. Don't worry. I'm staring at him. He can't get out of here. From inside the chest, very quickly, there were chains coming out. Wrapped up in the magic prison. I want to drag it into my house. Very quickly, he was trapped inside. Without any hindrance. Li Dong in the heart of thinking. This time, there was an intervention. That way, you have enough time to arrange the location. Probably the Black Lion can't pose a danger anymore. On the evil side, there's 10 good people who know all the information about it. Control. It's only a matter of time before we seal it. Next here, you just need to repel the dark arts. And carving CA. While hiding the effects of the human sword by 6 languages. Change the scene to cut raw, so this historical bottleneck seems to have been protected. Careful after recording. The magical prisoner took out a painting. He then, without hesitation, jumped inside the painting. This painting leads him directly back to the 3rd floor. In heaven, Lao Pioneer, where Gao Sheng is. He went to kneel down to worship with His Majesty. Please allow me to open the 4th heaven. Tall face wrinkled temporarily without reply. After a moment, the last important thing, also with the permission of the High. Opening up the 4th floor of the Tian Lao Pioneer. It's a completely different space. Compared to the other 3 floors. Here, it's like a great hall of an underworld king. As soon as you come in, take off your shirt. Then unleash the 5 demons. Sealed on Ra's back by him. This includes his previous 4 demons. Together with the Wheel King, the ceremony, glancing around in doubt, or asking, where is this place? Important to explain. This is the 4th heaven. In this place, will not be peeped by 6 naked fairies right away. Sometimes this place will be borrowed from hell. To read the prisoner's memories, special tense ceremony continued. Not that you need to know that name. If we don't remember wrong, God's creation was created by a wise man. He can't leave the back door. The key is still extremely confident. The 4th floor is a special place. In a moment, we may be forced to cultivate the outer space ghost. So there will be no force to oppress you. Whether you put the stone in the well or not is up to you. But I have to tell you this first. Because to avoid the outside world ghosts out-harm people. I have told Your Majesty, if we lose 7, he'll seal off this floor forever. When listening to the soldiers, they could not help but click their tongue. The agitated ceremony screams. What do you mean by important? The key is still extremely calm. I'm just doing the duty of the 4 generals. It's a great attack. I didn't mean to target you. And then he didn't notice them anymore. Folded by sitting down. This is probably the first time, after I trained to be a raging demon. I have developed fear. We realize that we may lose. Though the king and His Majesty, they always look at me as the strongest. He remembered the time when to collect the canvas when it's destroying the village. Are the animals confused enough? Next is the capture of evil in the Yellow River. Even though I am the only one ever. You can wear pink at the same time. Floods and droughts. But can we crack down on the aliens? Even the king has to struggle. When dealing with the glass prison appeared very quickly. Behind the back, important. There were countless cracks in the glass at this time. Thai soldiers were the first to touch uttered. When you come to the ceremony, listen carefully. Prisoner Lao Glass just appeared 2 cheeks the weight immediately puffed up. He then spat out a sip of fresh blood. Mixed with fresh blood are countless pieces of broken glass. The spirit behind him now appeared. It's a lion with a tail that looks really weird. The king's head was on his back. From inside the broken glass prison. Very quickly, there is the will to come out. The energy condensed into the appearance of Wu Taoist. He panicked and said, "It's not okay. The devil's army has 100 years of resources. It can't be detained." He bit his teeth. Against the disturbing rise of the Gentiles, uttered not Sao. "Give it back to me." Lion, behind him, screaming to get out of him. "Let me out. Let me out, you son of a bitch." The most important thing is not to give in. Bite the teeth, endure. Don't dream. It's hard to stand in front of the transducer, who once fought with Kier, the Black Master, as we know him very well. This form of him, fully qualified to hold the same high-low manure pressure. What you are doing, it's actually no less than the body. To seal the first red seal of all things. People just stood there quietly watching. There is no intention. Excess water chisel, release harm sentence important to take the freedom. Time just goes by. My eyes have passed 4 times. May's Tao shoulders short yawn long ask. How long has it been? The ceremony next to you is in response to the 4 times. He glanced at the pious corn laughing. You are so good. The situation is already like this, and you can still sleep. The serene replied, if not, you have to do it. The last step of the devil's path. Outsiders can't get their hands on it. Hands in front of a cold chest. Words with you, Black. The current weight on my back looks pretty sluggish. It's constantly oriented. Prudence says, don't try. You can't win. You are the one who needs to eat and sleep. But we don't need it. I will never be exhausted. Keep going. We'll get out sooner or later. Suddenly, a sentence came out. It's very difficult for the black man to understand, or something like this. So guess why I know this so well. I have been working with you for 4 years. The Dark Lord is terrified. Realize something. Maybe it's important to shout out loud. The ultimate master of cardboard chemistry. Tight seabed paralysis. He just finished. At a certain angle, there were 2 golden eyes shining. Right after that, there is a black shadow in front of you. Soared into the air. The maze sacrifice stands on one side full of confusion. Look up. Seafood of cardboard chemistry. It's not that it's dead. The wake-up ceremony uttered. It turns out, that's it. I understand. He glanced at him doubtfully, or asked what he understood. The corners of your mouth are raised. This move by Gao Thung is so wonderful. And yet hides such an ancient force. Right under the eyelids of people in the world. The catheter tissue is extremely irritating again. Don't open it up. The ceremony began to preach after Gao established the worry about the martial artists. It's also known as Class A or higher in Europe. When you die, it becomes a memory. At that time, the high priest issued a special decree. Do you remember what it is? Korn Tao replied, remember clearly. Barla Ti also established a professional in charge of this body type. Ask again during the ceremony. Do you know where the bodies went? Probably them. Whether any of the bodies have become exam memorials. Move the scene to the outside where the people are. In his hands, he is currently holding a dart ball of evil cults. King, the police also confirmed his identity. To the air client clasped hands. I really don't understand. Even the prison of all things can't lock you up. Then why did you do that? Li Dong asked again. Why? Do you think I should not chase the king and the king? Go to the devil's way. The king explained, of course not. It's just a feeling. With your tricks. If you want to close the sky. It's not that difficult. Co-certification is not difficult. But if you don't eat, Kier will complain. Then the handling of the third ghost later will be much more annoying. Move the scene to the new planes. Behind the back, where fake tear open space. Go and ask him to collect the time. The darkness has fallen. He wants to burn this city down. Use the pain and the miserable cry of the living here as a pastime. It's really quiet here. Very fast. Under the ground, there's a lot of stuff coming up. Everywhere in the city is filled with this. King Ian Min startled. Life and death have been liberated. Li Dong replied, it's not the third ghost that came down. The dragon is waiting for me. I'm outside this ghost. It's called the dark side. It's so big. The magic that hits his body is no different. Is scratching it. The usual types of magic, for it is completely useless. Use all your strength. Opponents at this level, you don't have to be afraid. It's not going to hurt people. You just need to use 9 on Theme Loy to catch it. Don't let too many people die or get hurt. King Ian Min did not hesitate to respond immediately. I already understand. God is afraid of death. It's standing on a roof, observing the outer space of the new morning ghost. In his current air form, no one thinks he's afraid of death. Face directly to the periphery of the ghost. At such a close distance, his eyes are a little unbearable. There's fresh blood spitting out. It turns out that the difference between ghosts and ghosts, it's so big. God damn it. Even a high-level spirit like me like this. Just look at one. They also have bleeding eyes. People who see this will not be blind. Immediately, the weapon suddenly appeared behind him. Remind me not to look at those horns. Turn to the suspect or look at him. Waiting for explanation. My eyes are also bleeding. Zhang turned his head and sighed. You've looked at it. It's over. Or what are those horns for? Why not look at them? Vance explained. The Emperor of Luoyang discovered. There's a creature that lives on the third horn. When the devil comes, it's carrying some foreign organisms. Are shaped like bright spots. They'll attack any AI that sees those 7 horns. Even rooms thought to be given to life. There is no exception. Just like he said, there's a lot of room picking right now. It's a little funny. I thought that was something terrible. It's just a bunch of servants of ghosts. It can't threaten you and me. Face is still extremely tense. But the problem is, as long as you see that horn, then you will no longer feel the external creature. Here light spot shape too. If the advanced strategy in the other 2 battlefields, they are also attacked by them, then AI will stop them. Earn people in the city. In the air, to become a king and master figure. The sand is floating. There, yellow sand in the shape of flamboyant direction, asked. Is still not SAO. My eyes are also bleeding fresh. Stress response. Can't. This ghost is much stronger than the previous 2. It can contaminate our 5 senses. Through sight. When the sand heard that, it fell into meditation. I don't know what I'm thinking on this side. King Ian Min has transformed, switched to the electrically charged state. Before he left, he did not forget to remind himself. I'll use you to call the rain in a moment. To mobilize celestial energy. You are prepared to lead. It is best to use the sky. He broke the 7 horns of the angel. It's coming out on this ground. Make it angry and pull it out of the ground. King Ian Min are in a state of union with life. Leeching progress 70%. Still confused. He, and then fly away in the air. Li Dong looked at the shadow of his back thinking silently. Fortunately, this is the life of the dog. There was a talent. It can be merged with life. Taxation progress can be increased up to 70%. If not, Shichuga and his incarnation are not easy to handle. To the side of the new plains, Stop fake.